This video is to give you some more information about the digital essay assignment that you're working on. Remember, this assignment is due next Tuesday on February 11th. Whoops, I'm sorry, next Tuesday. Yeah, February 11th. So even though we don't have class today on February 4th, this assignment is still due, and you'll have everything you need to know to do the assignment here in just a few minutes. So I'm starting in the course packet, the later part of the syllabus that gives you an explanation of each of the assignments. I don't have page numbers in this version, so I can't tell you what page to go to, but look for the digital essay assignment instructions just like I'm showing here. So the purpose of the assignment is for you to prepare a digital essay that you can use in your future classroom to share with students. You even, in fact, could use it in the classroom that you're in right now, or even next semester, or later on when you have your own classroom, to introduce yourself to students through sharing the ways that you use language arts in your everyday life. So last week we talked about the 6 areas of language arts. I'm not going to go over those again. You have that information from our classroom last week. You also have it in your textbook. So if you're not sure of those 6 areas, please look for that information. What I'm going to ask you to do is to create the digital essay with an example from each of the 6 areas. So there's lots of digital tools you can use to create the essay. In just a few minutes, I'll show you a couple of examples. I'll tell you the most popular tools have been either Prezi or Glogster as a tool for creating your digital essay. Now keep in mind, I told you you can use this in your future classroom. This also will be an item that will go into your professional portfolio. So you can use it as an example when you go for an interview for a job that shows the principal your skills with using online tools and creating online content. So kind of keep that in the back of your mind as you're working. So you're going to pick the tool that you want to use for this project. And I'm going to scroll down here to the rubric because that will show you exactly what I'm expecting in the project. So you have the 6 areas of language arts. For each area, you're going to include a photo or an image showing something you do in your everyday life to use this area of language arts. Sometimes people get confused and they talk about how they're going to be teaching this in their future classroom, but that's not the purpose of this assignment. You should focus on what you do. Kids love to hear about what you do outside of the classroom, and this is a great opportunity for you to share with them, plus also to motivate them to maybe try some of these activities themselves to promote language arts in their everyday life. So 6 images. They could be images you find online, and if so, you need to include the URL where you found the image on your project, or they can be photographs that you take yourself. And I'll show you those in the example here in just a few minutes. So 6 images, and then for each image, you're going to write a reflection. And what I mean by a reflection is I want you to explain how this image shows what you do in your everyday life. For instance, my son has been teasing me that I'm not a very good cook, so I've been working really hard to find some new recipes, and I've been reading some cookbooks. So for the reading area of language arts, I might put an image of the front cover of a cookbook, or maybe an image of me sitting in the recliner reading cookbooks. And then I would explain in my reflection what I just said to you. I'm trying to learn more recipes so I can become a better cook, so I've been reading cookbooks to try to get ideas. That would be my reflection. Keep it simple, but keep it focused on explaining to your students or possibly the parents in your future classroom of what you do to use this area of language arts in your everyday life. So the image is there, but you also need the explanation. And if you're using Glogster for your online tool, there's a place there to add that text into Glogster. I'm going to be looking at that text to make sure that you have been really careful with your editing. Remember, this is a tool that could go in your portfolio. It's a tool that could be seen by parents. The editing needs to be superb. One little mistake can make a bad impression. So you need to be careful in that editing. Go back to the Dr. Dobler's style guide for writing that you can find in your course packet, and it will show you the things I'm really picky about. And one of the things I mentioned last week is contractions. Those are really informal. This is formal writing. Even though you're putting it on a Glog or a Prezi, it's still formal writing because the people who are going to see it will be making judgments about you. So you want to be very careful. I would encourage you to type your reflections in a Word document. That way you can use spell check and then copy and paste them into your online tool. And then the last area of the rubric is the professional appearance. So this really has a lot to do with your own taste. There's no right or wrong here, but you want it to look professional. You want to be making a good impression. And I'm also looking for some kind of sound to be included in your project. It could be music playing in the background. It could be you narrating your 6 areas of language arts, whatever you choose. But to earn the highest grade on this project, you'll need to include sound in your project. So go back to the rubric as you're working. Make sure that what you do matches what's there in the rubric. Let me show you a couple of examples. This is Kelly's Glog that she created in Glogster. So she has the 6 areas of language arts. These are actually photographs she took of her little brother, demonstrating the different areas of listening. And then she talks about herself and what she likes to do. And then another example that I have is here. Some of you might know Stephanie Sprinkles. She created a Prezi, and another good online tool to use. And as this is loading, the Prezi, if you haven't used it before, some people describe it like a PowerPoint on steroids, but it moves as you're viewing the Prezi. And so she has her ways that she likes to use language arts. And she has her descriptions and her image. So notice she took images off the internet rather than, and actually there might even be some images with, no, she did find these. Here's her sound file to demonstrate listening and the kinds of listening she likes to do. Notice at the bottom she has the URL for where she found her image because she did take that off of the internet. So she has set hers up so that each click is one unit. You can arrange Prezi in different ways and you don't have to follow this model exactly. I definitely see an owl theme going here. That's kind of a nice idea, but you don't necessarily have to do that in your activity. So that gives you a list of the expectations and some examples. You should be off and running. The way you will submit this is in Blackboard in our assignments link. You'll see a link for the digital essay and you'll upload your URL to your project, and then I'll go online and take a look. If you have any questions, please be sure to ask.